as we go into the last leg of our doubleheader in Belgium. Before our summer break, we went from being a little hungry to absolutely stuffed with papayas. It's lights out and away we go for episode 151 of the Eating Asphalt podcast. Well, Ian, I see you got your McLaren gear rolling right now. I would too if I were a fan. You got to be kind of feeling, top of the world right now.
Yeah, it is super annoying that, we have like I said this one of the last podcasts, but Mercedes dominated so much and the Red Bull's dominating for all these years, and now we're gonna have McLaren dominating for like 10 years, probably. So it sucks, dude. It's just annoying. Formula One stinks, but I
Yeah.
don't really know. I guess McLaren's gonna have to be like the best team for years now.
Gosh, yeah, I mean it's a like heavy bear to weight, like a lot of pressure on you guys. It clearly can tell the McLaren team has a lot of pressure on them, the way that they've been responding and acting.
Yeah, that we'll get into that in the hot lap recap. But you see, Max was also bad with pressure.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. Hey, we're not the only psychos out there. He's also psycho. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's what happens. We'll probably get in that the hot lock recap as well. But yeah, a little bit of tiredness. Shocker, It's like when you don't get any sleep, you're kind of cranky. Felt
No,
like we learned that as like little kids.
has nothing to do with it, dude.
No.
No, you don't know. He's gotten the most sleep that anyone's ever gotten.
I'm just typically a dick. It's not asleep. All right. Well, like we said, we got a 2-for-1 coming up. We have our our race recap of Hungary, and then we have our race preview of the Belgian Grand Prix. So we have our hot lap recap and winners and losers by Ian, our race gambling and race predictions recap of Hungary, country fun facts, and then our Belgian Grand Preview and predictions for Belgium. With that being said, Ian, kick us off with a little hot lap recap.
Hot lap recap of the Hungarian Grand Prix here. So the weekend started with Christian Horner proclaiming that he had to sit down in his kitchen with Sergio Perez, saying, "Hey, what's going on? What do you need?" And he was like, "I feel good about that sit down. I think he's in the right space mentally." And he crashed out of the first session of qualifying. Sergio Perez did, once again leaving him out qualified by Logan Sargent. George Russell, another shocking Q1 exit after getting unlucky with the timing of the rain. And the last Q1 surprise was Danny Ricciardo going fastest overall. So it was kind of like, okay, this is obviously going to be like a out of order type race that we have going on here. McLaren finished with a 1-2, which we were pretty happy about, followed by a Red Bull. So Lando on pole, Oscar, and then Max behind those two. Race day came around Sunday, and shocker once again, Lando starting from pole, bottles the first lap, and is not leading the race after the first lap. McLaren did seem like the fastest car out there by a pretty convincing margin. If you look at lap times, it started early. Like Lando wasn't the fastest car, did get past at the beginning, but didn't end up making that time back. 35 laps into the race, we had our first little what's going on here? Rivalry battle with Max and Lewis. They were pushing each other off the track. Good foreshadowing for a lap 63 incident where Lewis and Max made contact and it sent Max's car airborne. Unfortunately for my gambling record, there was no safety car. Somehow, I don't know how, Max's car is not damaged after that. So FIA needs to look into the supernatural car that they built. But anyway, no safety car throughout the race. Max, though, was a certified bitch all race, getting mad at Lando, getting mad at Lewis, getting mad, very prissy toward his race engineer. He was sim racing the night before, like you said. The commentators kept bringing that up. Might have been sleep deprived, might have been cranky a little bit. Worth noting, that's not the first time he's been racing late at night on the sim. And the last time that he did win the Grand Prix. But still, absolutely bitch-made comments. Very funny comments on social media too about Max just kind of maybe hey, this is what the guy's like when he doesn't have a car that's a full second ahead of everybody every lap. Finally, kind of the big talking point of the race for the McLaren garage, Lando in P2 had to box earlier than Oscar, who was in P1. Pulled off the undercut to try to stave off the undercut from other people, and all of a sudden we have a switched order: Lando in first, Oscar in second. That was lap 48. Lap 48, they came over the radio and said, "Hey, Lando, if you could go ahead and swap that position back, be a good guy, be a good teammate." 7 laps later, they said, "Hey, Lando, go ahead and drive a little slower. Cars need a little, or the tires need a little help here. Go ahead and slow down. Oscar, let's let Oscar through." 3 laps after that, they came over saying, "Hey, so us again, radio check. Can you please make sure you can, like, when you hear us, even though he's 5 seconds behind you, we need to let Oscar through." And then 9 laps after that, they finally came over with the kind of like finishing blow of the radio message being like, "Lando, this is not how you win a championship. You need Oscar. You're going to need the team. Don't bottle it now. We're trying to protect you." So with 3 laps to go, Oscar got the pass done on Lando since Lando slowed down about half speed and gave us a Piastri, Norris, Hamilton podium. Congrats to Oscar for his first win, even though it seems like a little bit of a Mickey Mouse win. But congratulations mostly to the McLaren team for the first 1-2 finish on merit since I believe the iPhone was invented, it feels like. So, yeah, guys, there's the hot lap recap for the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Fantastic. I will say, wasn't what was it, Imola or Monza, the 1-2 with Lando and Danny?
First one on merit. There was some safety car help
Hmm.
with Danny and Lando 1-2 in Monza.
Gotcha. Huh,
Yeah.
I call it merit. You're gonna take Danny's win away from that?
No, dude, I would never do
Jesus
that.
Christ, dude. All right, great hot lap recap. Let's get straight into our winners and losers.
All right, winners and losers. This was a pretty easy one, actually. I feel like there were
Yeah,
like genuine, like big talking points. Could we start negative, actually? Let's go with losers first,
yeah,
and then go winners. Let's just get it out of the way. Sergio Perez. I think he is. I think we're just gonna call it winners and Sergio Perez and the rest of the gang that's not winners.
yeah,
Uh, because every weekend he's on here. P7 in the championship, or P7 in the race. Not great in that car. P7 in the championship now. He's one bad race away and one George Russell good race away from being P8 in the championship. Pretty inexcusable. What else is there to say? We say it every race. Sergio Perez loser.
yep. It's just like we always thought Max was gonna be just the constant winner and top of that list. It's always gonna be Perez top of this list.
Yeah, you bet it last week, and I saw the bet for it this week of Sergio Perez. Like, I think it was Sergio Perez on the podium or something like that, and
Hmm.
Sergio Perez race win. And I saw it, and I was like, like plus 900 for a Sergio Perez win. That's value there. And then I remembered, yeah, probably
Yeah,
everything's gonna go wrong, so let's go ahead and stay away from that.
yeah.
Another loser. I'm gonna put Oscar Piastri down here. No, maybe a little controversial, but for your first Grand Prix win to be your teammate handing it over to you, I feel like I understand why. I do agree with the decision, but I'm sure in his heart of hearts he's just like, I didn't want to win like this. Like, that's it's kind of like Big Brother hand me down win from Lando.
Hmm.
It felt like.
Yeah, I mean I felt bad for him. In the fact that yeah, he was put in that they both were put in that situation. Like
Yeah.
when he was going through his radio after he won, it sounded so sad. She's like, yeah, like thanks for the race, man. Okay.
And
Dude, this is your first Grand Prix win of your career. You've been in the sport for 18 months. And you're just like, oh, thanks, everybody. Understood. Appreciate all the help. It's like, oh my gosh, dude, you're gonna make me cry.
some of that, so most of that is, I think you're right, just being like, whoa, like this isn't the best ways, and probably the half of my team is gonna be really like annoyed and see me as little brother. The other half, dude, he's just Gen Z. He was born in 2001, and I think he's just like apathetic toward everything. I think we got our first look into like what it's like not to have a typical old classic racing is everything driver with Max
Hmm.
Verstappen. And now this is like even further down that spectrum with this little Gen Z guy who's just like, yeah, dude, I do this. Is like I race, whatever, just get mad about it.
It's my life. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Another loser I got, Pierre Gasly, DNF or DNS last race, DNF this race. His like post race interview just looked like he was so miserable. He was just like, we shoot ourselves in the foot every weekend. Like we don't have a good car, we don't have a good strategy, we don't have a good team, we don't have good luck. It's like, okay, dude, relax. Like it's gonna turn around. He got 4 points finishes in a row, and
Yeah.
then ended up with the DNS and DNF. But just seems like he's pretty low right now. And yeah, feel bad for him. Could have been racing in a Red Bull, and now he's racing in not a Red Bull.
Not a Red Bull at all. It doesn't even resemble, doesn't sniff a Red Bull. Honestly, would you, I know we're kind of veering off here, but who's in a better position right now between the two teammates, Ocon or Gasly? With
I mean,
Ocon going to Haas?
Ocon, yeah.
I mean, they're not good neither.
Yeah, they're not good either. I think that with the regulations, like no one's really developing their car though, and it
Yeah.
could continue to get worse. I would say probably Ocon's in a better spot, but I don't know, man. That's also just probably recency bias because I saw his post-race interview. Like I had to rewatch it to be like, I get the wrong vibes? Like, is he in big time? Like, does he need some like antidepressants here? And looked like he certainly did.
Maybe he's taking a page out of Ocon's book. He's like, I'm just going to be sad all the time. Just mellow.
I watched Ocon's post race after, and it was less sad and more just matter of fact about the state of the team. He was like, but yeah, like I think he said like bad leadership. He's like, we don't have good leadership. We don't have good guys in the pit wall. And just like the car's slow. I was like, okay, dude. Like Alpine, little energy, little
Good God, dude.
motivation from everybody would be nice.
That's so funny.
Another loser I got is Max's image. We talked about it, whining more than anybody else in the field. Rivaled Yuki's hot-headedness, and Yuki dropped the R word the other week. So,
Hmm.
never a good thing to see. And then, like I said, I guess that's just what happens when your car isn't, potentially 20 seconds faster than everybody else over a race. So, also, he's rumored to be like taking an ICE, an internal combustion engine, for next race. Gonna drop him down 10 points on the grid or 10 spots on the grid for Spa. That sucks. So we're gonna
Yeah,
see
your home
what
race.
happen. Yeah. And then my last loser is gonna be Lando, mostly because of the pole stuff. Now I'm not rooting for poles anymore for Lando Norris. Because even if he wins the race, it does suck to see like it's just kills your confidence one lap into the race when you have pole and then you don't have the lead of the race after the first lap.
Yeah, I could see that. I would say on top of that part of Lando, yeah, I mean, like, kind of petty. I would say he seems like his dark side is flourish. Everyone thought of like Lando as being like this cool, fun guy. He kind of becomes a little prissy when he doesn't get his way. Pull
Yeah.
down room, snapping at Lewis out of nowhere was surprising. He's like, "Oh, you have a really fast car." He's like, "You've had a fast car for 7 years, dude." All right, sorry. And he's like, "It's our turn now, buddy." Okay. And then on the podium too, when they were spraying champagne, just completely ignored spraying Oscar at all. He went straight to Lewis and just started spraying him. Just walked right past him. Jeez, dude, come on.
Yeah, I get like again, this could be good in the long term if McLaren keeps like on the trajectory that they're on. If they
Yeah.
don't and they drop off and somehow Lando loses like whatever place that he finishes
Uh-huh.
by a couple of points, yeah,
Yeah.
that's disaster time. And if they ever ask him to do it again, then you can't, he's probably gonna say no. He made
Yeah.
he made me very, very nervous that he wasn't gonna give that position back, especially with the radio just like, "Oh, you want Oscar to go ahead? You should have thought about that when you boxed me first." It's like, okay, guys.
Yeah. I mean, like, my take on this whole thing too is like, if he was like, all right, I'm gonna let him go past, he's got fresher tires. Can we race?
Yeah. I
Is
think
what probably should have happened. And even when he finally gave it back with 3 laps to go, dude, he was on his ass for a while. It's like, even if after this whole entire situation of me getting like reprimanded lap after lap about not giving it back, can I now take it back?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's like a good point. If he would have said like how if I give it back right now and we can or like how many laps until we can race because he
Yeah.
was faster. Like his lap times
On
were
older tires.
like older tires and he was just like driving better.
Yeah.
Um it was funny to hear the radio people being or guy on the radio being like, hey, we're gonna need like you're going a little fast in turn 4 and 11. Just like, oh, is that why he's making it like is that why he's like 3/4 of a second ahead of
Yeah.
lap time? Anyway. Right, let's go. Let's start it off on a negative note. Let's go into the positive. McLaren fans, in all honesty, I mean, pretty much riding the biggest high I think I've ever had since I've watched the
Yeah.
sport. Just seems like they are faster than everybody else in the field, and it's not like not close at all, but it's like it's significant. Like
Yeah.
there's a pretty good gap, at least right now.
Yeah. Not much to say there. I know I mean, I took McLaren and both McLaren drivers in winners and losers for different things. I mean, obviously it's more of the winner, but there is kind of some unfortunate aspects to all that. But yeah, I mean, if you could take this type of 1-2 win with some of the issues that guys faced, screw it. Why not? I don't care.
Yeah, 1-2 is a 1-2. On
Yeah.
no safety car, no anybody, no monkey business. Um, Speaking of monkey business, Yuki wrecking the car in qualifying and then ending up in P9 for points finish, second race in a row. That was good to see. He was another cranky guy. There was a lot of cranky people this week.
Hmm.
It was just everyone seemed mad. Ricardo seemed mad coming in. Yuki was mad. Like everybody, not everybody. Most times that like went to driver radio, they're just kind of mad at each other. So hopefully Spa is a nice like last day of school before summer break type thing.
Yeah, maybe everyone was really hungry.
Yeah, maybe. He's the best. And then my last winner actually is going to be Lewis Hamilton, 200 career podiums. Absolutely insane. I think there was a graphic that ESPN posted, ESPN F1, that was just like, hey, of all of the races that Lewis has done, here's how many he's got first place in, here's how many he's got on the podium, here's how many he's been in the points, and here's how many that weren't in the points. Very shocking ratios of him,
Hmm.
like the number of races that he's done to the number of like very good performances that he's had.
Yeah, I thought the like 11 through 20, I thought there was like 9 times or something like that. He was not in the points, and then like two DS in Qs or something like that. Dude, I was like, that is astounding.
He is the best we've seen, I think,
Yeah.
at least at this point. So, congratulations, hat tip to Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, just can't wait to see him when you get him into a Ferrari, dude. Nothing's stopping him.
I think a couple things might be stopping him.
Yeah, dude, he's gonna be battling more than he's ever battled before. Can't wait. Any other winners? No, I do not. I think you nailed actually everything. Yuki, Lewis, and the McLarens were my winners. All right, that does it for our winners and losers. Moving on to our racing gambling predictions recap of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Let's do race predictions recap first. I didn't get anything right. So I going into it, it was 7-8. I was making a little comeback. I stuck at 7.
Yep. And then I got George Russell fastest lap, saw it a mile away. A lot of people are gonna say that this is kind of just like a luck pick, but not me.
No,
No.
everyone knows fastest lap pick for the Hungarian meant skill.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, 7-9 or 9-7. I'm winning the predictions battle, which we all know is far more indicative of wheel knowledge than whatever else we have going on. So if you want to start talking about that, we can, I guess.
Yeah, gambling. Gambling's been bad for both. One particularly way worse. Not this guy. I'll go first again. I went heavy max winner, 3 units. Obviously didn't work. I didn't know that he wasn't going to sleep. I think that changes everything if he was going to pull an all-nighter. So I dropped down to, you know, a buck and a quarter units, so 1.24 units, getting close to negative land. But water's warm with my buddy.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you can come on in. We'll welcome you into the
Is
negative.
it fun? Is it fun down there?
Yeah, and look, 12 and 21 is not it's not a great record, but still being
No.
like in the positive, you're to be commended
Uh-huh.
for that. I I also noticed that I put down significantly more bets than you, because I'm 14 and 25 when you're 12 and 21. Uh, Safety car double unit special didn't hit. Max pull and win double unit special didn't hit, and then last classified car Logan Sargent 1 unit special didn't win. So down 5 units on a week. Not gonna lie and say that that doesn't hurt things, but we have a plan that we're gonna put in place to get from -10 units to +10 units by the end of the year, or my name,
Nice.
Queen of England. Yeah, so
Wow. That's incredible, dude. Could I get a copy of that?
it's all up here, buddy. Can't
Oh, wow.
intellectual property. So
That's incredible. I can't wait to be just a part of the ride, honestly.
me neither.
All right. Well, I think we're moving on from that, and we're not going to see. We always mark our winners and losing things red or green.
Yeah,
We're not going to see a lot more red anymore. That's what I'm feeling. The fellas got it locked down.
yeah.
All right. Well,
Hey.
let's move on to our country fun facts of the Belgium Grand Prix of Belgium, the country.
So I got three of these, all having to do with Belgian culture. The first one is in the town of Oosterdurnkerke, shrimp fishermen ride horses into the sea to catch shrimp, a practice recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Number one. Number two, Ginormous Omelette Day. In the village of Malmedy, an annual event called the Giant Omelette Festival takes place where volunteers cook an omelet with over 1,000 eggs. Or sorry, with 1,000 eggs.
Hmm.
Number three, traffic signal puppets. In some Belgian towns, specifically Umperton and Korstel, there are traffic signals with little puppets inside them that move to indicate stop or go. These are particularly famous in the town of Leer as well.
I've noticed you're a huge culture. Makes it hard when I don't know half the words you're saying. I'm gonna go with the shrimp horse fisherman.
That is true. That is a very integral part of Belgian culture.
Of course. How could I forget? I'm gonna go with the puppets.
Puppets are also true. Very
Okay.
integral part of Belgian culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Omelets. It was 900 omelets.
10,000 eggs.
Oh, how could I? I thought you said 10,000.
Yeah. Got you.
That's why you changed it. You said over 1,000. You're like, oh, exactly 1,000.
That's exactly why
Wow.
I changed it, because I was like, technically,
Yeah.
that's not a lie. Over 1,000.
Yeah, that's not interesting. All right. Tough one for me. I'm gonna go my turn. All right. Uh, Mine are always a lot quicker. I don't have like some backstory, you know? All right. Belgium is the world's leading exporter in billiard balls. Belgium has the highest population. Belgium has the highest percent of the population that believes that the moon landing was not real. In the 1970s, light beer was served during school lunch, acceptable for everyone, including children, to drink a kind of light, quote unquote, table beer as they drank their water and coffee. In fact, it was the norm until the 1970s. Then it was replaced by water and soft drinks.
That one seems true because
Hmm.
Belgian wheat ales are a popular beer, so I'm gonna go with that one true. And then I'm gonna go with number two, my lord,
Hmm.
as the
Yep,
lie.
that is a lot.
Bang.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna switch it up instead of actually finding fat. I gotta go like the culture thing, or I gotta go some weird thing that just seems all of them seem ridiculous.
Um, yeah, fair enough. All right. Well, speaking of Belgium, let's look at the let's get a Grand Preview going. Marco, let's pass it over to you.
All right. We are at the Belgian Grand Prix or Spa. Second word, I'm not going to say. We always say what it looks like. I'm going to say that Spa looks like an Uzi, but the end of the barrel being like a crow's beak.
Yep.
I think that is exactly what it looks like, actually.
Yep.
It is the longest circuit on the calendar with just over 7 kilometers a lap and only 44 laps because of how long it is. 2 DRS zones as well. If you did think that this track was long, the original circuit, before it was updated in the late 70s, was twice the length. I think it actually went to cover 3 different surrounding towns in this giant triangle track. While most tracks are known for their speed, like their views, which this is obviously a very pretty track, or like technical difficulty, technical turns, Spa is known for its weather. At one point in its history, it had rained for 20 years straight. With how long this track is and just kind of the Belgian weather, it's very not uncommon to see one part of the track getting rain while the other is actually dry. This makes tire maintenance very difficult. Grip around turns very tricky. If you have like, hey, we should be at inners and turns 5 through 10 and softs in the other ones, it makes it a little difficult there. Because it has a long mix of straights and difficult fast corners, it makes it a lot of fun when it is dry. Like I said, when it is wet, it can be kind of a dud because people are just managing tires, uh, depending on what tires they choose, mainly for the most of the race. So hopefully not the case. Because of this mix of track, long straights, difficult fun corner, Spot is a driver favorite, even though I feel like half the tracks that we cover, it is a driver favorite. So I'm gonna like take that for a grain of salt. I'm starting to realize that every track is a driver's favorite.
Yep.
Um, Take it in though, because there's not a lot of certainty that we'll be seeing Spa down the line. The contract goes through 2025, and then there is debate that they're not going to renew it going forward. It is due to the significant losses in sales the last 3 years, but unfortunately, we've seen them on the calendar since 1950. So since the start of Formula One, there's been other instances where they were getting close to, losing their contracts. They gave them 1 year contract over a couple of years, but kept his. So hopefully we continue to see Spawn here, but we need to see some people there. Apparently the hosting fee is also increasing by like 5.5 million, and so if they're losing money now, they're going to be losing even more money when that fee goes up. So I don't know. I don't know, Jim. Speaking of probably the most important weather forecast for any of the races we have, because it's Belgium, because it's weird, because of all the issues that I said previously. Friday, 71 with a 58% chance of rain. Saturday, 65 with an 86% chance of rain. So it's going to be raining Saturday, it seems like. But Sunday, 73 with a 21% chance of rain. So that sounds like part of the track is going to be getting wet, and part of the track it will not be.
It's so much chaos. Just licking your lips at like yeah, just like hey, go fast at this part of the track and then really slow down at the wet part of the track.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good
All
stuff.
right. Well, that does it for our Belgian Grand Prix. Let's finish the podcast by doing some predictions and gambling. Ian, would you like to go with some gambling predictions?
I would love to go with some gambling predictions. As you know, this is the place people come for lock of the century and hardcore gambling wins. We're gonna go a different strategy than what we have been doing. We've been pretty
Huh.
positive, uh,
Weird. Why?
odds heavy, but I'm gonna say Yuki Tsunoda over Daniel Ricciardo head to head. And
Hmm.
only other bet I'm gonna do is Esteban Ocon over Pierre Gasly head to head. Both of those are minus 135, and both of those are gonna have 1 unit on them.
All right. I'm also gonna tame it down a little bit myself. Um, my pick is gonna be solely because I am fully banking on this Max uh, ICE or this unit needing to be fully replaced and him dropping down. This needs to happen. But Lando to win, plus 110, half a unit, and then Piastri to win, plus 480, half a unit. So I'm banking on if Max is out, that one of the McLarens have to win. There's a little bit of arbitrage on the Lando one. I'll take anything.
Right on.
Not desperate at all.
Nah, we're good. We're right where
No.
we want.
Hedging bets. You know when you're in a good spot when you're hedging bets, being like, well, neither of the I cannot have a world where both of these are true.
Yep.
That's fun. All right, moving on to our last sector, our race predictions. I will go first.
Yep.
Question mark?
Go for it.
I'll go first. Exclamation point. All right, my predictions. Who do we think will crash for DNF? Esteban Ocon, driver of the day, Lando Norris, douche of the day, Max. Because he's going to be starting late, he's going to be going nuts, trying to catch up. Wildcard prediction, no McLarens in the top 4. Fastest lap, Carlos Sainz. How many cars don't finish? I'm going to go with 3.
Nice. You said 3 cars don't finish. All right. I'm gonna go higher than that with 4. So I'll go. Who doesn't finish? I'm gonna put Guan Yu Zhou. Seems like he's been slow. I feel like a DNF's coming down. Driver of the day, Alex Albon. Douche of the day, Sergio Perez. I'm gonna go back to the well that didn't have water last week for a new team on the podium. So not Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, and Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton fastest lap and 4 cars not to finish this race.
A lot of winners, I hear.
Got to be something in there, right?
A lot of drivers, a lot of things going against us. I'd like to get in front of that.
Yeah, dude. We have a 5% chance of winning anything on these.
Yeah. I mean, it's just we're lucky to have almost double digits. That was pretty impressive. All right, folks, that does it for our race predictions and gambling. That does it for our episode 151 of the Eating Asphalt podcast. This will be the last race until summer break. So really soak it in. Soak in the rain, soak in the race.
I think that's good. See you, assholes.
See you, assholes.
Hey, thought you could leave without saying goodbye.
I used to say I live my life a quarter mile at a time. And I think that's why we were brothers. Because you did too.